Today I'm going to walk you through how to replace the rubber insert inside an OEM Honda wiper blade. These are from my 2013 CR-V EX, and this is not really a new concept. A lot of wiper blades have these replaceable inserts, and I'll just walk you through how you can slide the old insert out, which is right here, slide a new insert in, and as long as this rest of this arm is in good condition, which I found mine to be after about 80,000 miles. And this is actually less expensive than getting new wipers, even at a parts store. Both of these inserts for the 2013 CR-V cost me about $19 at my local dealership here in upstate New York. You know, and you can easily spend $19 on just one wiper for the front of one of these cars. So I'll walk you through how you do this on the other wiper. I've already done this one. I have a longer wiper. I'll walk you through the process. Okay, so I'll show you a couple things here on this old blade first, this old wiper blade first. And these are important because this is important to the process. There's a groove here. Okay, there's actually a metal piece I'll show you after that in a moment here that goes in this groove. Okay, I'm using a tiny screwdriver. As you run something across this, you feel it stop. There's a little notch there that bumps out. Okay. Right there. That's important. Then as you run along this whole gap here, and there's another one towards the end here, okay, and a little bump, and it goes in again. Okay, now when you flip this over, same groove, just on the other side, the bumps are also there. Okay, except they're different on each side. So on the other side, we already had a bump in this area. We don't have that here, okay? So this one only has one bump all the way at this far end, okay? That's important because that's going to help you understand which of the metal inserts go on which side of this blade, okay? Also, right here, and there's a thicker channel here also. So in this larger groove, you have two rubber bumps there. One is sort of angled up like a ramp, and the other one's just squared off. Okay, that's the only one on this side. And on this side, you have the same thing again. A little ramp and a bump. Okay, they're actually in the same location on both sides. That is actually what's going to, once you insert this into the blade section, that's actually what's going to keep it in place from going left to right. Okay, so those are the important parts: the grooves and the small bumps and these tiny grooves, these narrow grooves, and then the larger bumps in this larger groove. Those are all important. Okay, so we can find these bumps right here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pull this rubber this way. You see how it comes right out? It came out that way so easily because I was able to pull it and just get it over these bumps here. Okay, as I said, that's all that keeps that in. Okay, so I'll continue sliding this out of the blade all the way and place that blade down there. So, you'll also notice that these here are what actually rides in that larger groove. Okay, so when you reinsert it, that's going to go in that larger groove, and these are the teeth that are going to latch on to this area. Okay, so when we insert it, we're going to slide in the ramped part first, and that's going to let it pass over that little notch and click in and lock into place. Same thing on the opposite side like I showed you. Okay, so that's really what's going to hold it in place. So I'm going to set that down, put this over here, and just to keep things organized, I'm going to lay out the new rubber blade right next to the old rubber blade. I'm going to match up those notches. Okay? So now I've got those notches matched up. That's exactly where it's going to go. So now this is where you take out these very thin metal strips. Okay, here's one. And it just comes right out. Just like this. Now we had this matched up the same way. Okay? And we see we have a notch here in the middle, and at this far end we also have a notch. Okay, So if you lose track of what you're doing, that's why I described to you these notches inside this finer space. So there's a notch right there, okay? And there's also a notch right there. All right, so now we can insert these, we can insert this to match those notches. And it's gonna tuck in nice. You can't forget to double check that you're putting the correct metal strip on the correct side, because it gives it the strength. Okay, it gives it like a spring tension. Okay, so now we'll pull this other metal strip out, and I know that on this side there's only one notch because that's how they're designed. So I'll carefully slide that in to that tiny groove on the opposite side. Okay. So now we have the metal inserted into the new blade, and the old blade is now flat. Okay. And so now our next step here is to get these lined up, get these teeth going into that larger groove, and just keep going, one at a time. Okay? There are 3 spots on this larger wiper that you got to get those through. Excuse me, there are 4. There are 4 slots. We have to get those through total. Okay, so now we're not quite long enough on that side, or too long on this side. Okay, so now we're at the point where we got to get it past those little ridges. Okay, you can just kind of see them in there. There they are. So now the trick is, we're just going to push it a little bit harder, get it over that little hump there, and now all of a sudden a perfect length on that side, perfect length on this side, and when I tug it, it doesn't go with normal pressure. If I pull this hard enough, I can pull it back out and do the whole job over again. But that is your overview on how to replace wiper blade inserts. This was a 2013 Honda CR-V, but it's very similar for other vehicles. If you can get the inserts, that's basically how they're going to work. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe.